Well, hello there and welcome to this F1 2017 Sauber Career Mode. We're in Season 3 at Round 11 at Hungary in Hungary. And this will be, I think, the first time I've actually touched this game in about 4 or 5 days. Been very busy with work over the last few days and haven't had a chance to really do the next episode. So I haven't forgotten what's happened at Silverstone. Don't worry, a fantastic third place right at the end, defending from Kimi Räikkönen. Really did put a smile on my face. It was about time we got a positive result this season. But we're here now at Hungary, a track I don't particularly like, and the pace in the practice sessions has sort of reflected that. We haven't really been challenging the top 10 too much, but I'm still positive. Positive that we can somehow maybe creep inside the top 10. All the parts have been changed. Obviously, we're onto units number 3 for both qualifying and the race. It'll be the last time that I'll use units number 3 for qualifying and race, because they're now into the 30s, pretty much all of them. Gearbox as well. This will be, I believe, our 4th race now, and we're only at 28%, so we'll have no problems with that. As for the R&D tree, obviously we will have next week, as long as it comes in, this final major development on the chassis. And you can see there in the top right, we've got 1,563 resource points. We picked up a sponsor bonus at the beginning of the Hungarian weekend, another 750. So I'm sort of torn, really. I might, to be honest, after this, end up just maybe doing either the major or the minor as well, and getting 2 upgrades at the same time, because I think I've found that when you do just 1 upgrade, usually it does sometimes it will fail, obviously, but I found when you do 2, let's say a major and then the next weekend you do a minor, they'll both come in the weekend after that, and I've usually found that neither of them will fail. So I'm tempted to do the minor powertrain here after this weekend, and then obviously at the beginning of the next episode, when I've got enough accumulated, I'll get the next unlock on the aerodynamics done. So I'm not too sure what I'll do. We kind of need to be able to do this and the minor. 1250 plus 600 here, we need 1,850, and we're just about 290 odd away, so I don't think we're going to get that after qualifying and the race. But yeah, we're still moving away with the development, which is nice. Of course, the chassis, you can see there, we are the best team by a mile, and hopefully when this comes in, we'll pull even further away. So we'll exit the laptop, we'll listen to the voicemail. The weather forecast for qualifying in the race, I believe, will be dry throughout, and hopefully the target will be nice and low for us. Qualifying 15th, yeah, it's starting to creep up the order a little bit as the car gets better. So yeah, it might be a bit of a challenge. I'm pretty sure we can get through to Q2, but I think that'll be it. So we'll go to qualifying, and we'll see if we can at least get through Q1 into the next session. So there we go, then we have managed to make it through into Q2 rather comfortably. The 5 drivers eliminated: Alonso in 16th, Magnussen, Van Dorn, Verline and Stroll. So Mazza's just managed to creep into Q2, but Stroll will be starting at the back. No other notable decent performances from anyone really. Hamilton was 6/10 off the tail, even though he was on the soft tyre. Same for Räikkönen and Bottas as well. Perez still seems to like mixing it around with the Red Bulls, just ahead of his teammate Hulkenberg and Kvyat 9th and 10th. We end the session in 11th, just 1,000th. Look at that, 1,000th away from Kvyat. So yeah, we've got maybe a slight possibility of getting into Q3. I'm certainly going to go for it anyway. So yeah, we're safely through to Q2. Let's see if we can get through to the top 10 shootout. So there we go, look at that, increasing to a 19.9, and we've managed to get through to Q3 with the 8th quickest time, which is a little bit surprising, but I'll certainly take it. So we've got decent pace to maybe be challenging for a few points after all. The 5 drivers eliminated: Perez, surprisingly, Kvyat, Massa, Sainz and Palmer 3.1 seconds off the pace. No notable surprise you can imagine. Ferraris, Mercedes, Red Bull and Ocon in the top 7, and Grosjean and Hulkenberg also joining us into Q3. So it means that we will be starting on those super soft tyres, which isn't too much of a problem. I'm probably going to be going for a 2-stop strategy in this race anyway, to try and make sure I don't get stuck behind slower cars on the 1-stop. So we'll go to Q3 and see if we can set a decent lap time to maybe challenge for top 6. So we've ended the session in 8th place, same position we was in at the end of Q2. However, my second flying lap, I was about 4/10 up. Probably not going to make much difference. Maybe got ahead of Verstappen. And coming into the second to last corner, which is a left-hander, all of a sudden the steering just sort of went straight on. It sort of dead zoned, if you like. I was turning left, but the car was going straight on a bit more, and I lost pretty much that lap. So I'm not too sure what's going on. I noticed it in Q1 and Q2 as well, and just had a bit of a moment there in Q3. So hopefully it doesn't happen during the race. and I certainly hope that my controller isn't on the way out, but we'll give it a go anyway. Hopefully it doesn't happen again, but we will be starting the Hungarian racing from 8th place, so decent result. I've exceeded my own expectations because I didn't think, to be honest, I'd get through to Q3, but it's nice to be in the top 10 again, so we look forward to the race and hopefully we can score some good points. So the resource points for qualifying this will hopefully be a nice healthy amount, maybe even 105 like we usually get. It is, so that's nice. That certainly helped towards our target of 1850. The rivalry update, 14 to 4. So pretty much making Magnussen look a bit silly at the moment. Team approval continues to rise with most teams. In fact, it rose with every team after that qualifying session, so that's nice. Not that it matters too much. And now we'll listen to the voicemail for the race. This will probably be a target of maybe 13th or 14th. 12th. Finish in 12th place. So yeah, basically score points and we managed to make our target. So we'll go to the grid. We'll have a look at the race strategy. The weather is clear throughout the race. I did check in qualifying. We'll probably change it to a 2-stop if it's not the preferred strategy, because we will be obviously starting on a used set of super softs. And yeah, we'll have hopefully a clean first couple of laps and try to make the strategy work in our favour.
We're almost ready to go then. This is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Sebastian Vettel has a clear track ahead of him today. He starts in pole position and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid we have Raikkonen, Ricciardo, Esteban Ocon and Verstappen, Sauber, Hulkenberg, Grosjean and Sergio Perez. Kvyat, Bottas, Felipe Massa and Sainz, Palmer, Alonso, Kevin Magnussen and Stoffel Van Dorn. Verline and Lance Stroll rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
So it looks like we're going to be starting in 7th place. Bottas has received a 10-place grid penalty for I don't know what. Not that it matters to us too much. So the race strategy then, fuel load warning. No. We want all of the fuels. We'll go 5 laps, 5 extra laps. Supers onto mediums. Yeah, we'll try and be a bit, or super soft. How about super soft? Is that something that maybe can work for us? I'm not too sure. No, we haven't got any softs left, so unless we do, well, we can do supers again, but I don't know if that's going to be a used set or not. Super soft is one, oh hold on, edit strategy, revert strategy, take that out. So the 1-stop is essentially a second quicker than the 2-stop. I'm quite happy to go with the 2-stop, to be honest with you. 8 laps on the supers and then lap 8 to 21 and then 21 to 35 on 2 sets of softs. I'm happy to do that. 5 extra laps worth of fuel, so we'll be able to push like crazy throughout the whole duration of the race. 35 laps and a very tight twisty Hungary. First couple of laps are going to be crucial. I need to make sure I don't have any damage on the car, because that will really ruin our strategy, starting from 7th place as well. Good opportunity for some good points here today. So yeah, very nice. We'll do the formation lap, get that out of the way and then get this race on the go. So here we are then, on the grid, 7th place. Lights are coming on now and let's go. Not a bad start. We'll cover the inside line. Grosjean on our left. Oh, looks like the Force India's tagged someone and damaged his front wing. Yeah, so it's crucial to get ahead of him. We have up into 5th place. Good start. So lap 1 completed. I've just been through the second to last corner and it did it again. Sort of the steering just sort of dies mid-corner, which is really quite annoying. But we'll struggle through it. Hopefully it's just a problem with that corner and not my controller. Oh, we had a flag. Oh, there's a Ferrari going a bit funky here. What's Raikkonen done? He's had a moment. So just coming at the final corner. Start lap 5. Pace is good so far. I'm just pushing as much as I can at the moment because Ocon behind us is holding everyone up with a damaged front wing. So the longer we stay out and continue to pull away, the better chance we have of a good result later on in the race, because all these guys are obviously probably going to be 2-stopping as well. So into lap 7. You can see the leaders up ahead haven't exactly disappeared into the distance, so we've got good pace it seems. Hulkenberg's managed to get past Ocon for 6th place, and he's 7.8 seconds behind us, so Ocon's probably close to 10. So we're continuing to increase the gap over those guys behind us, which put us in good stead once we make our pit stop in a few laps. As we come into lap 9, and we're continuing to pull away from the majority of the midfield, I'm tempted, in fact I've already done it as a precaution, and do the super soft onto the medium run. It means I've got to push his tyres probably as far as I humanly can, but I think the one stop actually, because of what Ocon has done and now he's holding up most of the midfield, it kind of makes sense to change to a one stop, because if I get stuck in traffic it don't matter, they'll be in the pits at some point and it will release me back into the top 5. So I'm boxing at the end of this lap. Tyres have had it. I think they're close to 60%, yeah, 61% in the front left, and I am starting to struggle. So we're going to pit now with a set of medium tyres that will hopefully take us to the end of the race. Let's not mess this up. Where is it? There it is. Jesus, there's no pit limit aboard for that. Really easy to jump it, but we haven't, fortunately. So we'll see where we filter back out. So we're coming back out now, hopefully into a bit of clean air if we're lucky. 6th place. Just ahead of the Toro Rossos by the looks of it, so we're in 6th place and we shouldn't have to pit again. So yeah, that's worked out really well actually. I'm glad I made the change. So just coming along the line, start lap 14. Perez is in the pits. So that says back up to 5th place. Whether we'll be here at the end, I don't know. There's still a couple of guys ahead of us that will be making another stop. And I'm pretty sure that Bottas is somewhere behind us as well, and he'll probably end up creeping up to us in the later stages of this race. But so far, we're looking good for a top 5. So just coming out the final corner to end lap 16, almost at half distance. Hulkenberg behind us has already made a pit stop and put on another set of supers, so he will be making a pit stop again. And Ricardo ahead of us, it's just come over the radio, but he's got a problem, so he might be going a little bit slower. So hopefully we start to creep up on him, and maybe even 4th place is for the taking. So into lap 23, Hulkenberg has made his stop. Ricardo's problems have been fixed. He's now nearly 11 seconds up the road, so I don't think we're going to be catching him. Perez is now up into 6th. He's slowly creeping up on us, and whoever's in 7th is being dragged along as well. So I'm still pushing here. I'm still confident we can get the top 5, but we've got 2 quicker guys behind us. So I reckon with the last 4 or 5 laps of the race, could get a bit interesting with us 3. So into lap 27, Perez continues to fall back. Ricardo's now 12.5 seconds up the road. It was Bottas that was behind Perez and managed to get past him. I suspected it was, but he was on the soft tyres. You can see he's in the pits now, just changing to a set of supers. He won't catch us before the end of this race. So unless we've been in the wall or something happens ahead of us, we're pretty much nailed on for a 5th place finish here, which I will be very happy with, don't get me wrong. Bit of a boring race, I will admit. But I'd rather have a boring race to 5th than an entertaining one to 13th. So just coming out of the final corner to start lap 30 of 35. Someone's blown up on the main straight. It'd be nice if it was Ricciardo, to be honest, up to 4th place. Things are going okay, to be honest. Hulkenberg has managed to... What is this car doing? So Williams, not that I'm bothered, so he's got a puncher or something. Yeah, so going back to the guys behind me, Hulkenberg's managed to get past Perez, who continues to drop like a stone. He's catching us about a second a lap, but to be honest, it's more to me just managing the car and the tyres. Yeah, we're pretty much nailed on for 5th place here, although this slow car going around, hopefully it doesn't bring out a safety car, because that will put us at a bit of a disadvantage. Oh, and Perez is out of the race. Something's happened to him. I think his engine problems have sort of got the better of him. It's been a bad day for Force India. Ocon had the damage at the start, and now Perez is out of the race. So the VSC's come out because of this guy right here. Not that that's fine, VSC's fine, no one really gains or loses anything, so I'm glad it wasn't a safety car. So coming round to start lap 33 of 35, 3 laps to go, nothing to report. Ricciardo continues to pull away, Hulkenberg continues to creep up, and we continue to just look after the car and the tyres, good on fuel as well. So yeah, 5th place is pretty much going to be ours, unless we end up throwing it away. So I think this is probably the first time this has happened, certainly this season. But we're in the process of lapping our teammate here, but I think he does have an issue, because 2 or 3 laps ago he was miles away. So we'll stick up the inside. Thank you very much, Pascal. And Vettel is out of the race, which will promote us into 4th place with 2 laps to go. So that's a nice little present. 4th place then, almost guaranteed. So just 1 corner to go before we finish the race. Probably one of, if not the most boring race I've ever done in this career mode, but I don't mind. 4th place is a great result. So a bit of a different end to the classification that we normally get. Some drivers that started inside the top 10 didn't score points. Other drivers started in the middle of the field, did get good points. But it's Raikkonen that won by 13 seconds from Hamilton, who made 2 stops, with Ricciardo completing the podium. We finished 42.7 seconds off, with our best lap nearly 2.5 seconds slower than Hamilton. Not that it matters too much, because from 7th on the grid we have finished 4th, so very, very happy with another 12 points. Hulkenberg, great drive by him to get 5th place and holding off Bottas towards the end, who started 12th after a grid penalty. Grosjean in 7th place, good result for him. Same for Sainz and Kvyat, a double points finish for Toro Rosso, and they really do need that because they're languishing down near the bottom of the constructors with 8th and 9th. And Verstappen, something must have happened to Verstappen, because he only finished in 10th place, and Ocon, of course, he had a damage early on, he could only manage 11th. And then we have Palmer, Alonso, Magnussen, Massa, Van Dorn, Verline, who I believe had a problem towards the end, and then Vettel, who failed to finish. Stroll did finish, but he was 2 laps down after picking up a puncture late on, and Perez also retired late on in the race as well. So we'll have a quick look at the standings and see what changes. Bottas is still holding a lead, but it's now Raikkonen that goes up to 2nd place after winning, pushing Vettel down to 3rd and Hamilton to 4th. In fact, look, it's 10 points between the top 4. This is going to be a close end to the season. Ricciardo jumps up to 5th thanks to his podium ahead of both Perez and Verstappen. We've extended our lead over Ocon now. We're now 21 points to the good. We've hit 50 points already this season, so pretty much just over 50 points just after halfway in the season. So you never know, might be able to break that 100-point barrier. Hulkenberg, good points for him. He jumps ahead of Grosjean. Kvyat, a few more points for him. Sainz has managed to pick up a handful of points and jumps Massa and Alonso. And it's still Stroll, Verline and Van Dorn that are yet to score. In the constructors, 6 points separates Mercedes and Ferrari in 1st and 2nd. Red Bull retain 3rd, as do Force India in 4th, and we do in 5th. Now 12 points ahead of Renault, who have also pulled away a little bit from Haas in 7th. Toro Rosso have now bridged that gap over McLaren and Williams, and they both them teams are still struggling on them 4 points. So the resource points for the race, this will be a nice healthy amount. Unfortunately got an exceeding track limit at 1 point, so that knocks a couple off. But 1801 total, we need 1850, so hopefully the first driver bonus does push us over that target. It certainly will. 1860, so that's very good news. Good results in practice, qualifying 12, race 11 as well. The rivalry update, this would have gone very well. We did definitely finish ahead of Magnussen, penalty free. He got the fastest lap though, but we're still 11 points to the good against him, so very confident I'll be able to see this challenge away in the next few races. The reputation continues to climb with all of the teams. Very, very strong weekend overall, so that's nice to see. And the career score as well. Good in practice, good in qualifying, good in the race, good everywhere really, so this should be a nice big amount. 14514, very nice indeed. Brings our season total to 134,000 and our career score 438. So hopefully by the end of the season we'll have hit 500,000 points in the career score. We haven't got a classic car event, so that's okay. So now we will focus on the R&D, 1,860. So if I'm correct, I can spend 1250 here, which will leave me with 610. And then I can move over to the powertrain and get that for 600. So now we can start on the powertrain. Of course, there's nothing else to do on the chassis. I'm not going to spend 1200 and have to wait 6 weeks. These will be done probably after we've unlocked all of the classic car events. So we've got that to come in next week. So we'll move over to the powertrain. We'll develop that. This is a fuel injection system. By ensuring the maximum fuel flow rate is consistently as close to the regulation limit as possible, the power output can be boosted. So basically just a little bit more power, which will come in next week at Belgium. So we'll develop that, which will just add a little bit there to our powertrain performance comparison. And I believe the chassis one is due in Belgium as well, 1 week, so that's very nice. We'll come down to the aero then, and we'll get this done then. So develop further enhancements is another 10% less off as well. So we'll get that done nicely as well. The next one will be 1500, so this is very expensive, but you can see here there's a lot to do. So hopefully by the end of the season, obviously the major will eventually come in. If it fails, it fails, but we'll get it done eventually. Hopefully I'll have pretty much all of the minors. We can do this major upgrade as well. That will take 2 weeks, because obviously that's linked to the third unit for the ICE, which someone in the comment section in my last video pointed out to me. So that will probably be also something that will be done very soon as well. But I'm hoping to have at least half of these done by the end of the season. And then obviously when we get our end of season bonus as well, that will then be spent on probably making maybe that one a little bit cheaper, and then focusing some more on the powertrain. So yeah, we've got some nice stuff coming in next week. You can see there on the right hand side, the vehicle performance, you've got a little red line, and then the green line, that's obviously the minor and the major upgrades. If both of them come in, I reckon it will probably put us pretty much bang on with Toro Rosso and Williams, which is very nice indeed. And as for all the power units on here, we will now be going into unit number 4 for the qualifying and the race sessions for the next few races. I believe the next race is Belgium, so that's quite a nice track. And yeah, we've had a good little strong part of the mid-season at the moment. 7th at Austria, a 3rd at Silverstone, and now a 4th place at Hungary. So quite a lot of points have been scored in the last 3 races. Very happy overall. Not much else to talk about then, so I'll exit the laptop. Thank you very much for watching this episode. 7th place on the grid, 4th in the race. A very, very strong weekend, and not one of my favourite tracks, so very happy with the overall performance. Hopefully the upgrades come in, and it will give us a little bit more boost on the track as well. So thank you very much for watching this episode, and hopefully I'll see you all for the next one very soon.